morning everybody, welcome to Immortal Gaming. This is me again, Marvin, and we're now here for another video for Ragnarok Origin. And this time we're going to be talking about the Maestro. Of course, I'm sorry if this guide has taken so long to get uploaded. I had to make sure about some of the things, and aside from that, I had to take it easy. Okay, so let's first talk about the stats. Okay, so Maestro highly depends, the heal highly depends on your physical attack. In my preset, we have him, Rhapsody, PvP, and MVP, TSA, and Juperos builds. Okay, so for the burst one, or the highest possible DPS that you could deal, of course we need 99 dexterity on that. Now this one provides the highest physical attack that you could get for your unit or for your character because it is ranged. And after that, we now focus on strength. Of course, strength only gives you 0.2 points of ranged base physical attack, but we're gonna use the Divine Armament tiers set to heighten up our physical attack. That's why we're still maxed out strength. On the contrary, on the set or the stats that I have set on my previous stream, we have changed it so that we could, optimize more on our damage, and the rest would be on luck, since luck also increases your physical attack. And that's for burst. Now, for the support, okay, for the support build, of course, we need dexterity again for highest physical attack possible, and then vitality for tankiness, and int and agility. So int for additional magic defense and agility for additional physical defense. Okay, so let's go back to burst. The hybrid PvE, this is the one that I streamed. I'm not using it as of the moment. Okay, so there are only two builds here on the stats that I am using. Now let's go to the skills. For the skills, we also have two here. Neglect the Firewind. This is from the Warlock. Okay, so we have burst and support. Okay, for the burst, we are using the usual here on the archer's tree, and for the bard, amp and core, and then instrument mastery, only 5 on blow whistle, level 10 on song of luti. It's important to get the magic strings and fantasy music. Now for the minstrel tree, we have song of resurrect, we have music mastery, don't hold me back, battle theme, and as far as I can remember, those are the things that are necessary here. You can put whatever you want, for example, on puppets mastery or puppets dance, etc., Loki's lament, but I am not using it as of the moment. Okay, now for the Maestro, we have to have 1 on lesson so that you could gain perfect pitch. You need this, okay? And then we go level 2 on harmonic riff, level 10 on impulse domain, dominion impulse, level 5, then severe rainstorm, hyper boom, and then last metallic sound. Okay, you need metallic sound every time that you would be dealing DPS. And for the miscellaneous, we need curtain call, joyful notes for that immune to control. Okay, so in terms of our manual, I'm putting here the dominion, okay, dominion impulse at settings option 2, my manual, and then the buffs, and then I am putting the hyper boom also here because sometimes I'm not using it on auto. I'm using a different auto setup. And then on the other side, it's whatever I want. I've put here. I'm not using this much. Okay, just the buffs here. Okay, for the auto settings, there you go. I have put the impulse domain on the first slot because this one needs to get the highest importance or priority for your character to cast. And then harmonic riff, because you need this to lessen the cooldown of the dominion impulse on the Nebula. We need also the severe rain, and then the metallic sound so that you could gain more perfect pitch, and then the hyper boom. But most of the time, I'm taking this one out and putting Song of Luti instead. Okay, so whenever I am doing auto, most of the time, like 90% auto on MVP, you know, guys, that I don't want manual things, but I'm doing some of the things here on manual, and still I am enjoying it, so it's okay for me as of the moment. So the one that I'm putting here is Song of Luti. This is the secret for you to gain a high DPS and at the same time a very high healing, okay, healing taken for your party. So that's the reason why I'm enjoying it so much. I'm providing so much to the party, okay? So that is our auto settings. Now let's go to the next one, the support build. For our support build, same here. This one also the same, as long as you have magic strings, of course. And then this one almost the same. The only thing that will be changing here is on the Maestro tree. So this time we now need Lesson, okay? Frigg's Song. Sadly, you need level 10 of Frigg's Song in order for you to unlock Unlimited Humming Voice, and you again need level 10 Unlimited Humming Voice for you to unlock Sincere Sound. So that's so sad. We cannot, put any of this while using most of our support skills. Moonlit Serenade, very good. This is really, really good on PvP, and level 1 on Valley of Death. I only put level 1 here because the only thing that changes here when you put, additional points on Valley of Death is the additional physical attack and magical attack that you buff your party member. So if they require you to get level 5 of this, feel free to put level 5 of that. But on my case, I want to deal, a little bit of annoyance to the enemy. More on that later on the gears. So that's the reason why we have Metallic Sound for more perfect pitch, Harmonic Riff just to unlock Metallic Sound, and our miscellaneous here, Curtain Call, Deep Sleep Lullaby, this one is good, and of course our Cleanse. Okay, so that is for our support. In terms of our auto settings, I'm only following the highest DPS on our party, and the only thing that I am gonna buff is the what do you call this one, the focus thing. Okay, what do you call this one? Steady focus, okay? And then, of course, the Song of Luti, because this one stacks by a lot of stacks on your party members in terms of healing. Of course, you need magic strings so that you could give more reduction on global cooldown. Aside from that, you will only follow this if you have the same Verus score that I got, which pumps up the magic strings that gives more damage to the skills of the party members on your area. That is on the Verus score. We'll talk about that. And then we need to put, I put the Metallic Sound. Again, I need to deal damage because I need to cast Bewitch. That is with the Divine Armament. And then the Auto Resu. And then last, our Deep Sleep. You can put Deep Sleep here. It's optional. Or if you don't, if sometimes you need this and then it's on cooldown, so sometimes it's better to not put it on auto, but that's my default on auto on support. Okay, so let's now go back to burst. There you go. And then let's now go to our gears. Okay, on our gears we have three presets here: the damage, farm, and support. Okay, for the damage, it boosts up all of your damage capacity. We're using, in terms of the Divine Armament, we are using the Pregdia, okay, because this one increases the damage of your Maestro DPS skills. And then for our armor set, we are using the Tears Blessing or the Tears set, as I've told you a while ago. Okay, so for our accessories, of course, we are using both Chaos, because in terms of healing and damage, this will pump up both of those sides of your character. That's why we are both using Chaos on two ornaments or two accessories. Now, For the accessory wear or for the gacha, you can have different types of gacha here, but I'm only using the one that I have on available. Yes, there are better gacha out there, but this is what I have right now. So what do you call this one? The cat thing is for my head wear, and for my mouth, for my face wear, this one still increases my skill damage every 4 seconds for 1 second. And when I don't use my converters, then it pumps up neutral skill damage. Next is for mouthwear, the ruby gem. I'm using it most of the time. For the backwear, this azure wings, because this one stacks skill damage. And lastly, of course, for our burst, so that we could get increased damage, the neon zero still. You can still use the other previous better gacha. It depends on you. Okay, so let's now go to the farm. For the farm build, okay, there you go. I'm using here the same in terms of the weapon, okay, and then for our ornament, we are using a different one since it's just for farming. You don't need that much damage. So we're now using the Devourer of Souls, just because the Refine +8 of the other accessory gives you additional 1 attack range, so that you could reach, tough to reach places in terms of farming and grinding. Okay, so next, for our accessory wares or gacha, this time I'm using the bunny hat or sheriff hat for the global cooldown and just for everything. And then next, of course, Luna Glyph for faster walk or faster running. And next, Ruby Gem again. This one for faster movement speed again. And then last, this one for I can't remember this one, but it is again for faster movement speed. Everything for faster movement speed, because you don't know where you'll be on the spot. And even if you are using all for movement speed, you're still gonna one-hit the enemy. In terms of your skill multiplier, it's very high. Okay, let's now go to the support build. Okay, for the support build, this time I'm using a different weapon. So most of you would be putting either like legendary base or other weapon, but I am using Magic Harp Incineration, because so that I could add a little bit of annoyance, as I've told you guys, on PvP. Additional 10% chance to bewitch the enemy. This is really good and can come at clutch on most of the battles. And aside from that, additional HP and physical attack and physical damage. Okay, so for our gears, we now have the Goiben set to reap up the lost damage reduction that we could have, that we could have gotten using legendary base. For our accessories, we're still using the chaos build or the chaos rings. And for our accessory wares or our gacha, in terms of the headwear, we're using this bear hat. I'm using this one for additional physical damage and magic damage reduction. You have to be tanky. The Christmas box for our face wear, for our mouth wear, still the ruby gem for additional shield. Next is the additional bear token thing on the back wear for increased physical and magic damage reduction and healing done, and the latest gacha for our costume. Okay, so that is for our gears. Let's now go to our cards. We have the usual card preset here, the large, medium, PvP, and Juperos. As far as I know, I'm still using all of this at the same instances that I'm using my Warlock. Okay, if you have caught that on our stream, then on our previous stream, then still the same. Okay, so the only thing that I'm gonna be pumping up here is in terms of PvP. Okay, we're gonna change a little bit of things on PvP. We're gonna exchange the cards on PvP here. Maybe I'll be taking out the alarm card and exchanging it for more male thief bug card, because male thief bug card gives you physical damage and magic damage reductions. And I'm starting to pump up Poporing card for additional physical damage and magic damage reductions on our accessory. So I'm planning to take that one out and see if there will be any difference, or if there will be a very big significance in our survivability. But as of the moment, I'm planning to target on 4 cards of Poporing. That's 12% physical and magic damage reduction, and only one card here, additional 3% on that one. And for our for our headwear, we're still using Marduk and G-Earth. Both are necessary since you're casting a lot of things and you don't need to be feared, and it will be detrimental for you. You can also change that on some cases to the Verus card. Okay, so let's now go to our enchants. Okay. Now let's look at our enchants. I am using most of the time 2 enchant presets here. One is for PvE and the other one is for PvP. Okay, so for PvE, we have physical attack on headwear, PvE technique on facewear and mouthwear, and also on our armor. And then we have anti-M damage, and this one, if we can, or I'll be focusing afterwards, anti-P damage on our shoes, because that one will be giving us a lot more tankiness. And then for our accessories and weapon, of course, ranged boon. For our costume, it will be PvE technique. It's also okay for you to put physical attack here, and then superior physical attack also on our backwear. Now for our PvP, it's gonna be different. In terms of our PvP, we have PvP technique on our headwear, backwear, and costume. And for our facewear, it's gonna be improved MDef, improved physical defense. Here, it's vitality boost. I would be focusing on this one in the future together with this, so that we could get, I think, counter crit here at least, or resistance boost, because I think that is better than vitality boost. And here, it's gonna be anti-physical damage. Same for the weapons and the enchants of the accessories. Okay, let's now go to the Verus scores. So we are somehow blessed on our stream, because we got good Verus scores on that stream, except for one thing here, the healing done and eagle focus. I think I'm not complaining about this. It's still okay. It's not good. Okay, so we have to change this in the future, but as of the moment, I love the Encore Concerto. This one extends the Encore duration by 10 seconds. Magic Strings, this one buffs up not only you and not only your party members, but they say that you also get affected by this one. Okay, when using your skills, you deal 15% more damage. And of course, Core Overload, both for healing and for damage. It's gonna pump up both of those things. So I love this. This is the perfect one for me. And the only thing that I could maybe exchange for the healing done or eagle focus maybe would be the Holy Light Shield and the Sonic Protection. Okay, so if you'd be looking at this one, there you go. The Sonic Protection gives you damage taken reduction by 12% when you are doing solo performance. Gift of Luti is also very good if you can get it. So aside from that, those are the things that I would probably want in exchange for the things that I got in the Healing Done and the Eagle Focus Smell Done. Okay, so aside from that, I don't see anything else that would matter. Maybe, the Bloodthirst, I could change it to Muscle Block, because Muscle Block also gives you tankiness, and I would love to have that. Okay, Now, let's go to our feathers, okay? So, this is one of the biggest things that I am doing right now because we need a different set for PvP. We need to increase our physical defense, magic defense, and damage reduction stats on our feathers. As compared to our DPS build before, wherein we just change a little bit on in terms of the PvE and the PvP build. Here it's gonna be different. We need to get as much, physical defense and magic defense on our character, and that's what we are working with. Now, I've put the light and dark feathers in terms of PvP here on the attack Valkyries, since we're not gonna be, using that much in terms of the ignore physical defense, ignore magic defense. We're not targeting to kill enemies. We're just targeting to, help other people kill enemies and help other people survive. So that's the reason why I've put the light and dark on our attack, because we have the PvP damage reductions on that side, so we can put more PvP damage reduction or PvP damage stats with our defense Valkyries. That's why we put here even the dark feathers, okay? Aside from that, we're not using the dexterity feather or the glory feathers. We are now using the justice feather for additional physical defense, okay? Now, for our defense Valkyries, I would love for this one to become dark feathers, but I'm also using this on the PvE build. That's why, I couldn't change it as of the moment. Okay, we have put divine feathers here, night feathers, nature feathers, and soul feather, because all of those give us physical defense and magic defense aside from max HP. Okay, so I have opted to put the nature feather because we're kind of on the end game now. But if you are on early game or you are a low spender, you can just put mercy feather here instead of nature feather, so you can now a lot more feathers, more time space feathers for your divine feathers. Okay, so now let's go to our Nexus. Okay, for our Nexus, it's kind of clutch that we got this. Okay, we have been using only one as of the moment, so don't follow me if you have a lot of resources. You have to make two presets here for the Nexus. One is for DPS and the other one is for support. As of the moment, we only have this one. We don't have a lot of type E modules that are support, but we are targeting to to maximize that one. So in terms of the support or PvP builds, we're now gonna change this. This has to be the green one, and this has to be the red one. Okay, we're gonna change those two because we need more support Nexus modules, more defensive modules, the same defensive modules, and less attack, since we are only targeting for the bewitched part. Okay, but this is what we have right now. Maybe in the future I'm gonna update you guys. Okay, so we tried to put everything here. It's not the most optimized or optimal setup, but that's what we can with our resources. So for our attack, for our DPS build, we need this one with reverberation, rainstorm, and also the unlimited impulse. Now for our for our support build, we need the power song, we need the voice of siren. This one is really good, and I don't see that much use for the Frigg's enchantment or Frigg's AoE as of the moment. We're not using it, but maybe in the future when they add up a job sigil, particularly for the Maestro, maybe this one is gonna get included. So I'm just saving this as of the moment. Okay, so this is basically what we use for the DPS build. So range damage, damage bonus stats, then AoE. I love this. I got an AoE skill damage together with sharp arms. So this one is really I think 9 out of 10 in terms of perfection rating, because it still has crit there. Okay, the next one is this one. The only thing that we need or we are happy about this is the ranged physical damage and physical PvP damage bonus. we have also sharp arms, but in terms of this one, maybe it can have an effect on PvP, but the cooldown is very long, so it's okay for me. It's okay. Next is we have ignore physical defense here and PvE damage bonus. I would love for this one to become ranged attack or ranged damage. So I'm not gonna be keeping this one. Maybe by the time that I immediately get a ranged physical damage or another ignore physical defense, I'll be changing this one to that one. And then this one is ranged physical damage. Okay. So for our defensive modules, this one is the one that I am gonna work on by a lot. We need both heroic verve and heroic spirit on these special instances here, together with PvP damage reduction, PDEF, and MDEF. Those are the things that we target here. Now, for our, of course, Type B module, PvP damage reduction with protection, this one is perfect for me. And then PvP damage reduction on both Type A modules. Okay, so for this one, it's just all on max PvP ward. I haven't focused on this for a long time, but it's just for, you know, just for additional PvP ward. But we're not using that anymore, and we're not gonna be using that anymore. So we're gonna overhaul this one too. Okay, so that is for our Nexus engine. Next, let's go to the sigils. For the sigils, we also have 3 presets here. One is for the farm. Maybe this is the one that I am using for, you know, for the highest DP that DP possible that my character can have. We have the support here for additional PvP damage reduction. All of this additional PvP damage reduction, I'm gonna change either the Gate of Suffering or the Immortal Body for a floating protection, because that one is still on the works right now to be leveled up. It is currently level 13. And then last, for our MVP fights or TSA or anything that needs to be having a burst or high DPS, we have this. We have the Impale, Berserk, Soul Mark, and Meteor. If I would be given a chance to exchange any of this, I would be exchanging the Berserk for Starfall. I would now focus more on Soul Mark, and this one would be either Choice of Faith or Choice Maze. Sometimes I put Choice Maze here, I take this out, I put Choice of Faith here for more healing taken for our party. Okay? For our job sigil, we're using Poetic so that we could get more physical attack and magical attack for everyone in the radius. Aside from that, it really, you know, helps a lot in terms of the healing when we are using the Apple of Idun. So that's the reason why we're using that for all, even for support or farm. That it's just too good for me. Okay, next would be our Nebula. Okay, for our Nebula, we have built 3 things here, 3 presets. The first one is what we're using right now, or PvP. This one focuses on more max PvP wards and damage reduction versus different types of jobs. We're still gonna be changing this one because I think this and this are not needed. So maybe we could, you know, put more levels on the other constellations and max out most of the job reduction constellations. And I think this one, Iron Wheel, also, we are gonna transfer those stat points or the points on those on that constellation to other job class reductions here. Okay, for our astral sign, we are using the hymn, of course, for more healing and movement speed. Then for our DPS, Maestro Rhapsody, it's, you know, it's self-explanatory. Now, so more videos about, of course, more videos are gonna be coming out for the Maestro. We're gonna, you know, learn as we go along, and we're gonna try to improve our Maestro from time to time. Okay, so I do hope that this guide and this video has helped you. Thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you happen to like this video, please do leave a like, share this to your friends, and click that bell notification button to get notified every time I upload a new video, start a new stream, or a new content. That's it. See you again in the next video. Bye-bye!
Now found you.